Hello there guys, and welcome to the channel. EVERSPACE 2 is a fast-paced single-player spaceship shooter with exploration in space and on planets, tons of loot, RPG elements, mining and crafting. Now at the core of the game of course is the combat and the spaceships. So let's get into that first. You start off the game with the Sentinel class. The Sentinel class has a good amount of shields, a good amount of armor, 4 item slots to equip energy boosters, damage boosters, invisibility devices, shield devices, nanobots to repair the ship's hull during combat. The Sentinel class, it's quite maneuverable. It's got just enough agility to get behind smaller, lighter opponents, get on their tails, take them down, and enough armor and resistance to take hits from larger gunships. As you progress, you get the ability to buy other ships, and there's quite a great variety of classes in this game. Each of these has different ultimates, so when you fight, you charge up your ulti. For the gunship, this is a turret that shoots at your enemies the same time you're shooting your primaries, your secondaries. That coupled with all the mines or rockets you can be launching is quite an impressive arsenal. However, the gunship of course is a lot less maneuverable than something like the Vanguard class or the Stinger class. Every ship comes with its benefits and its compromises. Some have less slots for the weapons, others have less cargo space or less maneuverability. So each of the ships obviously requires a certain kind of strategy to play. The Sentinel is a good foundation, but from then on, we choose what we want. EVERSPACE 2 is a huge world. You've got 7 galaxies to explore. Each one of them is quite sizable and absolutely riddled with all sorts of side content. Now the side content, well, there's some good side quests, right? And then there's the cheap variety of side quests, which is something like finding a hidden stash or the stress call stuff. These are usually just you fighting a bunch of enemies or you fighting a bunch of enemies and then inserting some energy cells into some sockets or blowing up some charges to uncover a hidden loot box. Some of the side content, on the other hand, is quite entertaining because it helps to paint a much more detailed picture of the world of EVERSPACE 2. Now, the game is actually filled with humor, and this can be seen throughout the main story and its characters, and also through the side quests and the main protagonist's interaction with his sidekick robot and so on. This game is in fact the spiritual successor to Galaxy on Fire 2. You will enjoy this a lot if you loved the classics like Freelancer. This is as close as we can get to a new Freelancer game, for example. Now I remember that coming out, it was way back. I found that the longer you play this game, the more you begin to like it. Strangely enough, even though EVERSPACE 2, if you do not take the main story, right, and you just lean on the side content, it can be quite repetitive. It is a loot fest, a grind fest, but at the same time, its combat is so well executed. Gameplay mechanics are just, they fit together so nicely that stringing up these different builds, using different devices, using different weaponry to take down your enemies is just enough of a game in itself. So even if the story would have been worse, this would still be a fun ride. But the story is actually pretty good, and there's actually some interesting characters, some hilarious scenes in it. So all in all guys, I'd have to say this game is very solid, and I highly recommend it to anybody into sci-fi, into space sagas like Battlestar Galactica, for example. It is worth your time, and it's definitely worth the asking price, in my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. Please support the channel by leaving a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Stay tuned for more content.